Hey guys, it's KK and I'm back with this week's Scrappy Challenge. And this week we are challenging ourselves to use stitching on a layout. Sorry, I had a mind blank there. So I'm starting out with these two pieces of pattern paper. One's from Studio Calico and one is from My Mind's Eye Market Street. And those are going to be the base of my layout. Then I'm going to take a small piece of floral pattern paper and set the next layer down. Now what I'm going to try to do this week is try to keep everything to the left hand side. So I do like the way the layout turns out, but there are a couple of things that prove to be problematic. And so on the back of that cardstock there, you see like a craft pocket and some white cardstock. And I just created that because I wanted to do some journaling, but I wanted to keep it private. So the first thing that I did was pop this up on pop dots, and that's the first problem. Is these pop dots that I used are extremely high. They're like 2 or 3 times the regular height of normal pop dots. So they just didn't work out well for me. So I'm going to go ahead and layer a couple things up here, and I'm sticking with those pop dots. But then at this point what happens is I realize that I haven't even put my photograph down. So I go ahead and put the photograph down, and this is a photo of my grandmother, and it's not especially a good photo of her or even a special occasion or anything like that. It's just a random photo, and I don't have very many pictures of her, so what I have I go ahead and use, and I'm okay with that. So I realized that those pop dots are not working for me because they're creating like this big gap between the base layers and the photograph. So what I do is I go ahead and take those off, and they're all bunched up in the top left hand corner there. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that flush with the other papers, and then I'm going to embellish this tag just a little bit with a couple of die cuts, and I'm going to bring in this frame that's from Maggie Holmes, I believe, and I want to go ahead and back that frame so I can build up on it, and that's where I use my first bit of stitching and just add some interest down there, and to make it, look nice. Now I do have a sewing machine, but I don't feel like messing with it, and so what I decided to do was to use an American Crafts border punch to punch a border in something, and then go back in with crochet thread or something like that, and do some stitching like that. So these pop dots do come in handy because they get the tag flush with that frame, and so that's what I'm going to use that for, and then I'm going to put another one behind that tag right there. And looking at this layout, one of the major things that I see is that I wish that I would have moved all those layers just a bit down, because I don't like the way that they turned out so towards the top, if that makes sense. This is just a piece of packaging that I had from a crepe paper collection, and I just stuck it behind there just to add another layer. And that blue tab you see up there, it's attached to that white cardstock that's the journaling card. So I just put it there so I would be able to take it out. Just going to use a couple of stickers from the collection here. And down there where I put that little label, it said this story belongs to, and I wanted to put us because there was a little sticker that said us, but I really couldn't get it to work out because of the size or whatever. So what I'm going to end up doing here is taking it off, and I'm going to use some Color Box charcoal ink to go ahead and stamp us on there. And then I try to do like the 3 little dots before, I forget what that's called, and I kind of get them crooked, but I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to stick that back on. At this point, I'm pretty good with what I have laid down there at this point in time. So what I want to do is I want to bring something up to the top just to create some balance in that right hand corner. So I take this half doily and I put it at the top, and then I'm going to take another craft tag and I'm going to use it up there at that top just to create like a little embellishment cluster and kind of mimic the larger one. So right here, I'm sorry that this is off screen, but I'm just using my border punch to create the holes in the layout. So, and I think you can see them when I move it over. And once I make those holes in the layout, there you can see them really well. I just go through, like I said, with some kind of thread and create some stitching. And these leaves came from an Amy Tangerine sticker book that I've had for quite some time. And so I just thought they mimicked the colors well, the other ones. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and put my title on, and I'm going to keep it really simple with the title, and I'm just going to write laugh, because the things that I want to record are just talking about how she loved to laugh and the things that she thought was funny, and that's really what I want to talk about in this journaling. So once I've got the title down, I have these Maggie Holmes brads and some Martha Stewart butterflies that I've punched from some navy cardstock, and that's really going to be the bulk of my embellishment. This brad, I don't know why, but I could not get it in there for some reason. And then just a butterfly there. And then I realized that I really want that brad to move up some. So in just a minute, I'm going to take it out and re-adhere it, but in a different position. Just a little bit up and over to the right. And I think that these really are just the bulk of the embellishment that I'm going to use on this layout. I just couldn't find anything else that I wanted to use or that I needed to use, and I like the way it turned out. I wish, now that I'm looking at it, maybe that I would have brought some washi underneath that aqua matte to the right hand side, or some kind of a horizontal element there. But honestly, at that time, I just wanted to keep it all to the left hand side, so I didn't want to build out too far to the right, because I knew that once I did that, I would probably go too far and end up with stuff everywhere. So here's where I want to move that brad. I decide that I don't like it. That Studio Calico paper just did not work for me, that other side. So I'm glad that I was able to use it with this. I guess it's kind of like a peach or a coral side. So once I get this brad in, I'm really done. And what I'm going to do is just do some sprinkling on here with some, I think it's teal Heidi Swap Color Shine. And that's where I'm going to call it done. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm so sorry that this video is kind of a mess. But this layout was kind of a mess to put together for some reason. And I hope that you guys will check out the other girls' videos, and I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you again for watching, and bye-bye.